Welcome to the second DevOps project. I hope I have already introduced you with the scenario. What in our first project, in this second DevOps project, we are going to achieve the same using Jenkins Freestyle method. So let me introduce you first what we are trying to achieve here. So this is the end user. Developer will write the Docker file, and they will push it to the GitHub repository. Once they will push it to the GitHub repository, the Jenkins build will start, and Jenkins will do what? Based on the Docker file, Jenkins will start building the Docker images. Okay. Once the Jenkins will build the Docker images, Jenkins itself will push the images to the Dockerhub. This is what I am using as a private repository. Okay. In the next frame, you can see there is a Webapp server as well. So Jenkins and Webapp server has to be set for a passwordless authentication. SSH authentication should be done between these, so that once the Jenkins push will be done, Jenkins second thing is what? After post build, Jenkins will SSH to this Webapp server, and it will start pulling the latest Docker image which we have recently pushed. Okay, and once it will pull the latest Docker image, this Webapp server will start building a container for our web app, whatever we have mentioned in the Docker file. Okay, so this scenario is done. So let's jump to our some set of requirement, like what are the things, prerequisites you have to do before jump into that. So see, so here we are creating a Docker based application using Jenkins Freestyle. So what are the steps we have to be ready if we are going forward? So you have to know about Docker, how to write a Docker file, commands of Docker file. Okay, and also see, so let's move forward with the steps here. So first step is what? You need two EC2 instances, one for Jenkins server installation and one for web app where our container will run. Okay, so Jenkins server. Okay, so third is what? Ensure Docker installed on both of the server. So the Jenkins server itself is building the Docker image, right, with the Docker file. So they need Docker configuration here, right? So we will install Docker here as well. And for web app will do what? Web app will pull all the latest images, and it have to make container on that. So both need Docker. So that's why we have installed Docker on both of the server. Fourth step is what? So basically these are the stages we have to use going forward, but see, we are not creating here pipeline. Okay, these are, you can say, these are just the stages. Okay, so we have to follow while doing our freestyle project. So git checkout, building Docker image, pushing Docker image to the GitHub, till here the Jenkins task. Okay, after that also the Jenkins task is there. Jenkins will SSH to the web app server. Okay, and it will pull the latest image from the Dockerhub, and it will start building container. Okay, so let's jump into our project now. So as you can see here, I have already created two servers here. One is Jenkins server and one is web app server, as per the scenario Jenkins and web app. Okay, so I have already installed Jenkins on Jenkins server. So let me log in. So I have already logged in. So you can see this is the dashboard of my Jenkins server. Okay, so two step has been done. So now third step is ensure Docker is installed on both of the server. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to install Docker on both of the server. So what I have done, I have already downloaded, installed Docker on both of the servers. So let me check once again. So I see these all are inactive, so let me show you, give me some time. So I have logged into my Jenkins server in the left side and web app server in the right side. So let's check the Docker version, because I have already installed, so I'm just checking the version. Okay, so Docker version this. Let's check the same in this web app server as well. Docker hyphen version, enter. Okay, so third step has been fulfilled already. So let's go for the stages now. So one more thing I would like to add here. See, for freestyle method, okay, so for the root user, what you have to do, you have to SSH, as I have told in the figure. Jenkins has to establish SSH connection to the web app server, right? So we have to do some changes here, right? So let's do one thing. Let's do one thing. Let's edit the changes in the sshd config. Let's go to etc ssh. So for the password list, you have to do these all settings. Yes, enable it. So you can see you have to enable two uncommented line. One is permit login. Okay, so earlier it was prohibit password something, right? So I have deleted all the line and I have set to yes. Okay, next thing what you have to do, you have to take care of this password authentication. Earlier it was no, I have set to yes. So two things, password authentication has to be set to yes, and this password authentication along with permit root login should be set to yes. So once you will do that, what you have to do, just restart the sshd. ctl, enter, done. Along with that, what you have to do, you have to configure this root as well. Means configuring means you have to set password for this root, right? So let's set. I will tell you why we are doing this going forward. Password root, I have set. The same thing you have to do in this Jenkins server as well. Okay, so as I have done all the changes already, I am just going to set the password. I have set up these things, so I am going to change set up the password for root here as well. I will tell you why I am going to set, why I am setting. So once this is done, what I have to do, we have to restart the sshd. Okay, so once you have edited this sshd config, that's why you are doing this restart sshd, correct? So this is done. So now what you have to do, you have to go to the Jenkins server and you have to download one plugin. Okay, so just go manage Jenkins, just click on manage Jenkins, just click on manage plugins, go for available, search for ssh. So we are searching here public over ssh. So it is not here, means I have already installed it, so maybe we will get here. Click on install. Okay, so you can see I have already installed this, correct? So let's go back to the dashboard. So sorry, not manage plugins. Once you have installed, you have to go for this configure system. And you can see here you will get public over SSH, correct? So we will use it later. I will tell you the purpose. So now we have to add the SSH server, means we have to add the Jenkins as well as the web app server here, so that they will SSH. So give any names, meaningful name, Jenkins. In the host name, what you have to give? The IP of the Jenkins. Okay, here. So I have told you, right, I was giving password of root y. So here we are using the same. For root was the username, and where to provide the password, just click on advanced, click on use password authentication. Here you will provide the password. Once you will provide the password, let's check the connection. So you can see it is succeed. Okay, in the same way you have to add the second server, which is our web app server. What is the host name of the web app? Host name is nothing but the private IP. Okay, what is the username? It's the same username root, only you configure, right? How you will provide the password? Just click on advanced, just click on this. And what was the password you have given for root? I gave it. Let's test it. It also succeed. So apply, then save. So all configuration has been done. Now we are moving ahead for the freestyle pipeline. So let's go and let's create a freestyle pipeline here. Let's Docker web app now freestyle. Okay, Docker web app freestyle. Click on freestyle project, just click on OK. Now we came here, just click on git. What is our source code management? So where you have kept your Docker file. So this is the place. This is a public repository, and this is inside master branch. I have just one branch. You can see I'm just copying this so that I can clone the repo to the Jenkins server, so git checkout will be successful. So see, I do not need any credential here because this is a public repository. In your case, if you are using a private repository, then you have to add credential here. Okay, so in my case, this is not a private repository, so I'm not doing anything. I'm just leaving with this. Okay, that's why I'm not getting any error here. So now you can double check like this is set to master or not. Okay, or otherwise if you are using any other branch, you have to specify. Once that is done, you have to go for build. In the build, you have to see send file or execute commands over SSH. So once you will install the public over SSH command, so you will get this option, right? Just click on that. So this is your Jenkins server. What are the command you want to give to the Jenkins server here? So Jenkins server should do what? Jenkins server should do what? After the code it will get, after the code, once the code it will get, it should start building the images based on the Docker file. So where all the code will go? Let's go to the Jenkins server. Okay, let me reload this. cd bash lib Jenkins workspace, because the pipeline has been run several times, so you are getting this workspace. If you are not getting, in your case, means you are running the Jenkins pipeline first time. So without any issues, you just run the pipeline once, so that you will get this workspace folder here. And once you will get the workspace folder here, you will get your pipeline as well once the git checkout is succeed. So let me take this path. I'm going here, workspace slash, what I will get once I will run the pipeline, this Docker web app freestyle, right? Let me copy that. Okay, I got the name. Okay, so Jenkins server should enter into this, and after entering into this, Jenkins will have a Docker file. So Jenkins will now start building image. So let's write the command of Jenkins image building. So it's not a Jenkins Docker image build -t. So what I want like my image should be renamed. My image should be named as this job name, right? So I have to use, in my previous video I have already told why I'm using this job name, along with that version dot your build number, build id. Okay, and where is the Docker file residing? In this current directory, so I'm giving a dot. Okay, so this will do what? It will create image based on this name. Job name means Docker web app freestyle colon your build id. What is v1 dot build id means if we have not run it one time, right? Even one time, so we are not getting anything here. Once we will run, we will get build id 0 1 2 3 4 in incremental order. So once the image will be built, what we have to do, we have to tag it before pushing it to the Dockerhub, right? So let's write the command for that. Docker image tag, whom to tag this image, you have to tag Docker. What tag you want to set, so you have to provide the Docker name, Docker username, right? Is it correct? Okay, so it is correct. So now copy the same, you have to apply this tag to this image, right? So once it is done, so along with the version, in the previous project only I have told we are maintaining version as well as the latest version of the same build, right? If you're having v1.1, so for v1.1 you will have a latest image. For v1.2 you will have a job latest image for that also. Okay, so here no need to maintain version. So this is done. So once the tagging will done, now what it have to do, this Jenkins should push the images, tagged images, one with the version and one with the latest tag to the Dockerhub. So let's write the command to push sh docker image push. Which image you want to push? This image. Next time, which image do you want to push? This latest one, right? You are maintaining version, along with that you are pushing the latest image, right? So this is the tag. Along with this tag, Docker will push. So once this is done, once pushing is done, what Docker has to do, Docker has to remove the pre-existing images in the local, right? Otherwise multiple time you will build, the server will have multiple copies of these images, because you can see build id is not uh, conflicting here, right? Based on every run it will generate 1 2 3 4, so a numerous number of image you will have. So let's remove that unnecessary files if we don't need that, right? Docker image, oh I missed that. Docker image, remove. So what are the files you are going to move? First remove my this local image, simple image, sorry. Second time this version tagged image. You have three, basically you're maintaining three copies, one for local, two for your Dockerhub, right? And one you have to delete this latest image. Okay, so this part is done. So now let's see, apply and save, and let's see. So let's go to the Dockerhub. Do we have any repository now? Let's refresh. Currently you can see I do not have any repository in the Dockerhub. Okay, so let's build this. This is the first time we are building. Okay, so we got some error. How to rectify that? Let's go back to the Docker file. Let's go to configure, and we can verbose. We can verbose to that error. Let's scroll down. Just click on advanced, verbose. Just click on that and let's run it again. Let's see. Build now. Why it is getting filled? Second. Let's check the verbose. Okay. Can't open Docker image build this. Can't image. Okay. So why it is not happening? Okay. So why it is not happening? Because see, you have to log in Docker. You have to log in Docker to your Jenkins server, right? So that only your Jenkins server can push the images, right? So let me restart this. Once you will log in, then only it will be authenticated. Like anybody can't do, right? It is not taking. It's going to duplicate once again. So for better understanding, I'm dealing with error as well here, so that you will have some better understanding. So once this is done, let's log into the Docker login. So login succeed. Now let's run again. So this time it is running fine. You can see it is executing the Docker file now. Actually in the last I have just given the path wrongly, that's why it was not building the image based on that. So you can see I have taken the present working directory and I have just pasted here in the code. So you can see now it is finished to success. So what is the result of this? Okay, we can get into the Dockerhub. Okay, after the image building, the Jenkins should have pushed the two version. One is version 1 and one is the latest one. That should be pushed into the Dockerhub now by Jenkins. So let's wait a moment. Okay, so you can see now we have got the same image name Freestyle. Let's get into that. If you will click on that, see version 1.5, this is the build number. You will go back and see this is the build number what I was talking about, along with the latest tag it came. So after CI is done, integration is done, now let's go to the second part of this. What we have to do, the Jenkins should SSH to the second server, web app server, and it will make container by using this latest image. Let's wait. Okay, so this will come under post build action. Once this build will be done, so Jenkins have to do this. So just select this, send build artifact over SSH. Okay, so this time this should have to be changed to web app server, right? So here you have to execute the commands, right? So you have to write the command of docker here. So what is the command of docker? Docker run it into detached mode. What will be the name of the container? Freestyle container this time. Freestyle container. What port you are exposing? I'm exposing 9000 with 80 port of container. And from which image do you want? So from Dockerhub, just go get this image name. So if you will use this name now, so whenever you will run it will just pull the latest tag, whatever is in the latest one it will pull. Okay, so let me specify the, okay, let me reframe it. This is not a correct way to write. Okay, all will come under this, right? This is a cell. Docker run it in detached mode, freestyle container. Okay, let's apply, save, and let's build it. Let's see the output. This is build number 6. One more time, the Docker file is getting executed on the Jenkins. Now it is pushing, already pushed. Okay, so once this is done, let's check if our website is up or not. Just go there, take this IP with 99,000, right? Yes. Okay, so it's loaded, correct? Okay, so this part is done, but what is the next issue we can face? Let me go to the configure section. Next time again, if you will run the same pipeline, so it will say the freestyle container is already existing and your build will fail. So similar to this Jenkins case, we were removing all the images. Similar to that, we have to do something here as well. So what we will do, we will remove the pre-existing containers. So for removing, first we have to do what? We have to stop the containers, right? Sh docker stop docker container stop. Which container? Stop the freestyle container itself. So once it is stopped, in the next step you have to remove the container. docker container remove for remove rm docker container. Okay, and if you have the images left as well, docker image remove images. And what is the name of the image? This is the name of the image, right? Just so if you want to see your container, then you can see, let me show you. If you will go here, okay, let me restart it. Okay, let me be a sudo user. Okay, so we have to check the images first. Docker images, which image it has pulled. So you can see it has pulled this image. This is from one of my previous project, but based on this project you can see Docker Webapp Freestyle. That means we are having some issue while creating the container. Okay, so let's save and apply. I have enabled the verbers. Let's see what happens. Just click on build now. This is the 9th build. So for that error rectifying, I think let's check first, then I will tell you what I have done. Okay, so you can see now this sine website is up. Now what are the changes I have done to resolve this issue? I'm going to tell you. Just go to configure. See, in the exec command, executable command, you don't need to specify the sh here, right? That's why I have just removed the sh from here with the quotation, and it worked fine for me, right? So now if I will go to the container, I will show you the image which it has, latest image it has pulled. See, Docker Webapp Freestyle, the tag with the latest one it has pulled, and which container it had made. Let's see that also. Okay, so you can see freestyle container is there and it is created a minute ago. Okay, and it is mapped with 9000 of 80, right? So what I was trying to say, now we can remove the container, right, for the new images. Otherwise, when the next time we will run the same code, it will say freestyle container is already here, existing in your local. Freestyle container is already existing, so you can't create with the same name. So what we have to do, we have to remove the previous container. So let's copy paste the same codes. Without sh, right, this time no need to specify cell, it either it is cell or not, because you're writing into exec only. Okay, so it will do what, it will stop the freestyle container because it is already running in detached mode, right? So it will stop it, it will remove the freestyle container, then it will clear the image if it have. So apply, save. Okay, container name is same, right? So let's do one thing, let's go to our Docker file, and this time let's change. Let's change the Docker file. Let me comment the down one, the sign website this time, and let's uncomment the footer photogenic website this time, uncommented. Just commit the changes, and I have not done the poll so that it will on webhook polling, so that it will, once we have committed the changes, it should execute, right? So let it execute manually. Just click on build now. Let's check the console output here, and it is going. Let's wait for a moment. Okay, so it succeed now. Let's rephrase this. Okay, so our photogenic website is now done. So let's go to our web app server once again. Let's check the image. It again pulled the, this is this this is created like 32 seconds ago only. Let's check the container as well. So you can see that container is also 32 seconds before only it's up, correct, by the same name. So like this we can deploy our Docker image to the with the use of Jenkins pipeline to the Dockerhost web app, right? So thanks for watching. Let's see you in the next video. We will try to integrate Ansible as well. So instead of building the images on the Jenkins server, we will do what? We will pull the Docker file to the Ansible server, and Ansible server will start building those images. And after building, Ansible server itself pull all the images to the, push all the images to the Dockerhub, and the web app server will do the same. Okay, bye.